You do some shows.
Yes, I do. I don't do as many as I would like. Tampa has not been good to me as far as marketing. I've sent out flyers and I do shows. I did a show about a month and a half ago. Um, but in a way, sometimes, Mark, Tom, I'm glad. I don't have to do it for a living because, also talking with the pros and even yourself, the traveling and other things. In fact, the deal that I made with my wife was because, as you know, I'm retired. The deal was that I would not branch out too far from home, where I'd had to be out for days or weeks at a time. That, it's one thing to have to do it out of necessity. And, I really don't have to. So with that, in some ways, I have probably been my own worst enemies by limiting how far I will go to do shows. So in some ways, I've limited myself, but, in some ways, I'm glad I don't have to do it because I read the stories and the tales, and I will say the woes, but the struggles that travelers do have to go through.
It can be lonely sometimes, but it's each, I think, performer needs to make their own decisions. And working in your local area, that's fantastic. I mean, if I could lay my head down every night in my own bed, I would be a happy man.
Yeah.
But I don't think my wife would be. She's like, "When are you leaving again?" But
see, my wife is on the other side of the spectrum.
You've got a good one. Hang on to her. So, when you do shows, what kind of things do you were talking about one of your characters you use in every show. Can you tell us a little bit about your show? Your characters, a little bit about what you do.
Mine's a family show. I'm not on the edge. It's basically telling stories and singing with all of my shows. I cater mine more to the older group, 50, 60, or even a little bit older, nursing homes. So Jerry, which is my Hawk Conrad, I introduced him as most of them know. You remember Egerbergen and Mortimer? Well, I've got his cousin Jerry, so let's bring him out. And believe me, he's no swifter than Mortimer. And so we bring him out, and he talks about being on the farm, and then he sings a song at the end. Most of my shows, I start out with my magic drawing board, and I tell a story. And of course, when it comes alive, they just like, I got the remote one.
Oh, do you?
So, yes. So, it just blows them away.
That's.
And then I use an Axtell storyteller, and again, he sings the song to cheer up the group. And then finally, or in between, I use a Selberg Reggie figure. I introduce him as my son, and I encourage him not to laugh too much because the more you laugh, it only causes him to get worse. So you will determine how much you will get from him.
That's good.
And so that's basically my show.
That's fantastic. So you've got then 3 hard figures in your show?
No, like I said, I use the magic board. I use 1 Hart, 1 Selberg, and 1 Axtell for the most part.
Okay, so
and then I try to use I've got other Hartz that I use, and sometimes I'll use I'll bring one of them in there. But Jerry, I pretty much like him the best.
Mm-hmm.